Hey everybody, I'm Scott, and I'm playing the Emperor in this episode.
I'm Craig, and I'm playing the Barbarian, like always, but never in D&D.
Today's thing is we're going to talk about Combat Grid versus Theater of the Mind.
I like both of those.
Combat Grid, assisted tools to help you play and represent your characters, represent what kind of story you're trying to tell.
The environment.
If it's your physical things in front of you, it could be a variety of things, or if you're virtual, it could be maps or literal combat grids.
Mm-hmm. Theater of the Mind. This is playing imagination in the basement. Basically, someone word vomiting at you on what's going on, and you get to play. How close am I? For those people that like to paint a picture in their minds.
Let's go with combat grid first. Combat should be clear, tactical, and fair. And my opinion is a grid can help deliver that.
Fair to who? You might want to put things on there, but you don't want players to see them.
And that's one of the points I think it is a disadvantage to the DM. When we got our 3D printer, that was the first thing that we printed. Was a huge map of dungeon tiles.
Oh, yes.
And they turned out really cool.
Yes.
We still use them today. It's hard to be able to do battlefield, the fog of war on a battlefield. It's hard to be able to make sure your players don't see everything. It's one of the things I think are better on a VTT, a virtual tabletop, for those that might not know what VTT is. It would be way easier to be able to manage it, Theater of the Mind, because you don't know what's in the next room.
Walk into my mind.
Walk into our mind. Lost. The idea is that we can have, if there's less ambiguity, could equal less arguments.
Combat might not be slowed down.
Well, it might not always be exact perfect distances. You're putting some guidelines and rules around the distances. People can equate that. It's tangible. And the more things you have tangible in a thing that could be high stress, because as much as we think we're adults when we play this game, we're trying to pretend to be adults. We are 8-year-olds that will throw a temper tantrum given
100%.
Having the distances there. It's nice because it kind of eliminates, okay, what was I in range of or how far? I think you casually kind of mentioned it, like, how close am I? How far away are they?
Right. You can kind of measure those things out in your head. Speeds up turns.
It does.
Potentially.
Yeah, I would say it speeds up turns. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to imagine as a new player and being able to understand what's happening with everything. Like, you're trying to imagine what your character looks like and imagine them fighting and imagine them interacting with people, and now you got to imagine like monsters or whatever's happening. You're being attacked. And combat grid doesn't always have to be attacked. You could represent city movement or interactivity between people and things like that. It doesn't always have to be
that grand ballroom.
I
like it for that, because trying to keep track of where everybody is nuts.
Yeah.
But one of the counterpoints is, are you going to have enough? Most people aren't going to have enough map to do a whole dungeon.
Sure. Well, I would argue that it's easier and harder. It's scary to people that...
I'm thinking you need to have the board set up so if I backtrack, I don't have to wait 20 minutes for you to reset it up and remember how you had it set up.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
That's where something like a VTT would come in handy.
Yep, VTT. And that's a good clarification, as like a VTT, I think, is really helpful and useful. More people are doing it. More people are playing remotely. We got a lot of really cool tools that came out of COVID for it.
Yes.
Because
especially all those cool projectors that you see now.
Yep. Yeah, I think those are really neat.
Table.
I do think it's helpful when players are crawling through the dungeon to be able to physically see what paths they can take, where they want to go. But my mind might be skewed because I like to complete. I'm a completionist.
Oh, yeah, you're 100%.
So I like to 100% it when I'm going. If I'm going through, like I remember this was really bad with like Xenosaga. We'd go through and I'd want to go to every room. So I would sometimes I would literally draw out where I was going and mark it, or the games that let you see, like it unhides it if you've been there. I love that because then I'm able to explore everything. I'm trying to think, it was Star Ocean. They did really good, and they actually rewarded you for getting 100% of the map. You got some pretty awesome perks if you get 100% of the map.
The one big thing is it doesn't allow for imagination. So if I'm in, let's say, scenario time, you're in a city bazaar. If you have certain things set up, that's all the characters are going to, all the players are going to imagine, as opposed to if I'm word vomiting at you and painting you a picture, the player might be like, "Oh, is there a barrel? I want to kick the barrel at the guards that are chasing us." Just imagine Aladdin.
Mm. Okay.
And if I don't see a barrel, I've seen it 9 times out of 10. Players don't see it; they won't think about it.
That's a good point. And putting the details into that is a lot of extra work.
Mm-hmm.
Like just getting the thing set up for people to be able to play with is one thing, but purposely putting stuff like that there
Yes.
and putting those extra details, that's the extra thing that usually doesn't happen. So you're focused more on optimizing squares instead of role playing.
Yes.
You're playing chess and not really telling a story, and then slowing things down. Those are the three counterpoints that I had to combat grid or physical theater of the mind.
For me, I use it as a writing tool a lot of times because you're trying to hit every sense and paint as well as a word picture. Especially when I'm developing one shots, that's what I'm doing when I'm in that cinematic view and my brain is running through things like, oh, this is what you would see, this is what you'd smell. You're trying to paint as broad of a picture to immerse the players as well as you can.
I think one of my first ones was speed and flow. So you got less measurement that you're doing. I think that could be taken a couple different ways.
Yeah.
But we just purely take it from you're not measuring, you're not counting squares, you can keep combat moving faster potentially because you're not trying to position. Cinematic storytelling, so focusing on what it feels like rather than what does it look like, what does it feel like, right? For I think in the hands of a DM that does a really good job of explaining and getting you to touch on those different senses that you have that you really discount quite a bit or turn off when you have a physical thing in front of you, you can like really get immersed into it. I think it has way more potential to get immersed with theater of the mind.
100%.
So
as long as you can picture things in your brain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So you talked on this one, and I really liked it, was the freedom of action. So if the players don't physically see it in front of them, they might not think about it. But like you meant, your example was, hey, is there a barrel? I want to try to throw down a barrel and slow them down.
Yeah.
Versus physically, you're like, oh, I don't see any barrels.
Right.
Like, it doesn't mean they couldn't think of that. It's just they're literally trying to represent what's physically in front of them.
Yeah. So, give you a little more creative license.
Lower barrier to entry. Okay. So you don't have to buy terrain. You don't have to make it. You don't have to draw up maps. You don't have to. I mean, you might have a map. You might have something you're using yourself to keep your own wits about you or whatever. But largely, you're not having to do extra money, time, effort to be able to put into those things. Some counterpoints maybe is players might say, if I can't see it, I can't plan it.
No, I know players that are like that.
Yes. The other one is, theater of mind turns strategy into guesswork. So you're trying to strategize. It might be harder to be able to do that, but that might be people that are attuned to physically seeing it.
Thinking like a social encounter, once again, where you're at like a big noble event and there's people moving around the room. It's kind of hard to keep track of 80 guests and then all the players too.
The other one that I had is there's some inconsistencies, because either the DM's getting confused, the players get confused, or there's just general lack of clarity potentially. Then it could break the immersion over it, and grids might be preferred more in that particular instance.
Yeah, you might have to bust out the dry erase thing and do a quick little sketch of what's going on.
Theater of the mind, it should be fast, cinematic, and immersive, and you're not slowing down your role playing and your immersion with measuring out squares. Combat grid, I do get a lot of enjoyment out of making the miniatures and printing them and creating them and all that.
I think the tactical leverage that the team can get is a lot easier with the combat grid. You get more of that synergistic.
My belief, and I believe this before we start talking about it, and maybe even more so now, hybrid is probably the way to go.
Yes.
Ultimately, right? It depends on the moment, depends on the story, it depends on the plot. Examples that I was thinking of is hybrid play. So using theater of the mind for small fights. We don't have to put every little scuffle on there if there is a scuffle, or every little engagement.
My thing of hybrid is you still have your battle map, but then you're using all the immersive describing the map. Like you're painting extra things. So then they can have those moments of, just because I don't necessarily see it, I can ask.
Another hybrid thought, and maybe this is a little bit closer to what we were talking about, is a soft grid approach. So rough sketches instead of full-blown maps.
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually is probably more common than what we do, where we might use the dungeon tiles, but we don't do the entire dungeon floor. We just kind of do like the outlines, where the entryways and the doors are, and it's like, imagine the rest of it.
Yep.
Or this is the part that matters.
Here's the guidelines.
Yeah.
Fill in the rest. I know there's got to be a list.
Oh, there is a list. I have a combat grid setup checklist.
Ooh. How many points do we got for this checklist?
I got 10. But they're not. Okay. They don't have to be complicated.
Hands.
So the first one is define the battlefield.
Okay.
So like if you're setting up a combat grid, you're defining the battlefield. Now, quick reminder: combat grid doesn't always have to be physical. It could be virtual. Mm-hmm. So you could be making maps. There's a lot of map making tools. You don't always have to have a physical thing. Yep. Combat grid we're using very loosely. You're using tools to be able to describe an encounter list. So you're deciding the map size. Is it a skirmish? Is it a large battle? You're thinking of the scale. You're establishing boundaries, walls, edges, hazards, and is this an indoor environment, an outdoor environment? Yep. All right. Point number 2: add terrain features. So you got cover. Considering half, full, quarter, 3/4, that type of thing. Elevation. Is there stairs or cliffs or platforms? Is there difficult terrain like mud or rubble or water? Obstacles like crates, pillars, trees, boxes, barrels. Is there any interactive elements like doors, traps, levers? I think when you're talking about puzzle type things, those can lend themselves really well to a thing. Yep. I'm talking about literal puzzles, not player self-imposed puzzles. Like there's a door and they're afraid to open it kind of thing. What makes the battlefield interesting is really what it comes down to. So adding terrain features. Mm-hmm. Right. Number 3. Establish line of sight and lighting. Ooh. It's a good one. This is why I like checklists. Right?
That's a good one that people often forget about.
So is it clear versus obstructed sight lines? So it's kind of plays in the terrain a little bit, but what kind of sight lines are happening? What can you see? What can't you see? What can you hear? And what can't you hear? Lighting conditions, is it bright, dim, dark? Visual limitations, is there fog, smoke, magical darkness? High ground advantages, if there are any, define that type of stuff. What's going on. Ready for number 4?
Yes.
Okay, number 4. Place units in starting positions. Player starting positions, enemy starting positions.
If they know the enemy.
Enemy placement, so are they hidden, ambush, visible? Whatever.
Are they in
even
disguise?
In the skies? Yeah.
They're the guy selling fish.
Boss position, centerpiece, protected, hiding. Waiting for his minions to fail for him to save the day or them to save the day, whatever. And is there any reinforcement or wave entry points, right? So these are all, again, checklists. Does any of these apply? And the idea behind this is you go down this list and you say, yep, do I have that? Do I not have that? And it's just a way to be able to think about the things, right? Checklists. So they're 4 people. Number 5, movement and range expectations. So movement rules clarified, difficult climbing, jumping. Sometimes you need to just say it out loud if there's something special going on. Ranged attack lanes. So what has visibility, what doesn't? It's an extension of what we were talking about back in number 2 or 3 or whatever. Aerial effects, spells, you're accounting for those and how they might work. And is there checkpoints or flanking paths that you want to consider? So if you want them to think strategically or battlefield wise or whatever, you want to give that option. Is there something you want to set up specifically? Then here we are.
Cramp alleyways. They get nothing.
Number 6. Define a tactical intent. I know, it's fancy, right? What's the enemy goal? Kill, delay, escape, defend.
Oh, you don't often get talking about the enemy's goal.
Yes. So what is their plan, objective, whatever, right? What's the player's objective? Survive, retreat, stop, ritual. I mean, there's more. These are just examples. Are there alternative win conditions? Because we talk about that quite a bit in other things. Fair versus unfair. We dig into that one quite a bit. Fair versus unfair talk that we had a lot of good nuggets in there. And for any of you that are listening that haven't watched that episode, I encourage you to go back and listen to that episode because there's good stuff. Is there alternate win conditions? The answer should be yes, almost always. There shouldn't just be beat things up and go. Obviously, there's exceptions on both sides of that, but think outside the box, people. Let your players have choice. Don't turn them in the murder hobos. Number 7. Ready for it?
7.
Yeah, in the count.
I was thinking in my head. Yes, I had to look. Brain was working on other things.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was thinking of enemy win conditions. Start burning the city down.
Get everybody drunk.
That too.
All right, number 7. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Number 7. Add dynamic elements. This is the spice, the spicy spice. You ready for it? Environmental changes. Is there fire that could be spread? Is there collapsing terrain?
I like how I was burn the city down, and your first thing was fire.
Yeah, well, it's on the list, so there you go. Timers, rituals, reinforcements arriving, any of those. Moving hazards, rolling boulders, shifting platforms. Weathering effects, wind, rain, lightning, tornadoes. Okay, so that was dynamic elements.
What number was that? 7?
That was 7. So we're on 8 now.
8.
Prep for clarity at the table. I don't know. It's a list. It's a list, and it's
Okay, I want to know where this.
So tokens and minis, are they ready?
Oh, okay.
Condition trackers, so stun, prone, etc. Maybe you literally have trackers. Are there a way to identify and initiative tracking method ready? However, you're going to do that.
I really like the 10 cards if I have to track it traditionally.
Yeah, 10 cards I think go a long way. Rulers or measurement tools if you need to. Spell templates, cones, circles, whatever you need to do if needed. So these are more of your tools, like getting your tools ready. And I want to just take a moment to say something. You do not have to do all of these things. This is a checklist. You can simply go down and say, not today, me, or I don't care, or that isn't there. I feel like if you're making a really complex encounter, then maybe you might touch all these elements.
I would say for a big bad.
For a big bad, if you knew that players were going to spend an entire session, however long that session was, they're going to spend an entire session in whatever this thing you create is, then maybe you might be using all these elements. I got 2 more. Number 9, speed and flow check. Map not overly cluttered. So you want to that?
Yes.
You can't overdo it.
Oh, yes.
Clear paths for movement. Make sure your people can get around. You do it. Imagine them going through physically, move miniatures and things like that. Make sure people can get their hands in there to do things. It's a big deal. Easy to read at a glance. If there's too much busyness going on, people are going to get distracted and get lost. And I'm going to tell you, my advice would be colors matter. And I've purposely done some different colors before with things. So one of the things that we did is we had a big town that we were running for, I think it was the beginning of season 2. And we made, part of it was because I ran out of time, but the other part was I didn't want to get distracted with all the people. So I actually had all of the people just had a zenithal highlight on them. They did not have colors in that. The town had colors and everything else did, but like only the main characters, the people that we were interacting with, didn't. It was kind of like the low-level NPCs were zenithal highlighted, and that's just like black and white.
It's kind of like the background people in like an animated show. Yeah. You can kind of sort of make out features, but you just ignore them.
So easy to read, and I think an easy way to do that is you eliminate distractions. So again, how you paint it could make a difference. And minimal need for constant clarification. So if you're going to have to answer questions, what is that? Or what does that mean? Or how do I do that? Or what does that represent? If there's going to be some of that, it might be better to not have it than include it. So get rid of it. And if you're not sure and you're really thinking about it, ask somebody. Last one. Number 10. All 5 digits. Good. Congratulations. You still got them. Cinematic layer. So this is, what's the visual theme? Is this a forge, a forest, a dungeon, runes, key set piece moment? So is it an explosion, a retreat, a boss entrance?
Okay.
And this could just be more of planning for it to happen. It doesn't mean you have to have like a literal like explosion happening. So anyways, thinking about that moment, that if you want to have a dramatic reveal or a key thing, you don't have to have it. But if you did, thinking about how that would look.
I like it.
And this could be a hybrid moment where you're describing a theater of the mind. They enter, they're just, they got a swagger to them, they're whatever, and you can, take that how you want to.
I like it.
And then the wow factor. Having a wow factor, it's a checklist, but having something that players will remember. They go, ooh, I remember that map. I remember that thing put together. That was so cool. That thing they did. And it's not so much impressing your friends, more of the experience that the players are having about it. And you could do that, again, with a hybrid method of Theater of the Mind.
We did that end of season 1 of War of the Realms.
There's a couple moments from Avernus that I remember with the thing. Like, I remember the trees. You remember the trees? Or the hag going through that maze. And there's a lot of moments in that thing. I like my checklist.
I do.
Usually it's...
What's our Theater of the Mind checklist?
Theater of the Mind checklist. All right, that's on you. That's for the Barbarian.
How many senses do we got?
How many sen? 5?
5. Okay, 5 senses.
Unless there's a 6th one.
That you're jellies. We're gonna go 5.
Okay.
Checklist. I think it's all about hitting each one of the senses.
Okay.
What sounds are you hearing? What are you smelling? Seeing? Tasting? I don't know.
Maybe.
There's a taste to the air, so something could be going on.
Mm-hmm.
If something's burning, you can smell it, you can hear it. What does it taste like? And it does have a very distinct taste.
Yeah.
This is not me saying go out and lick random things. Do not do that. Anyway, and then feel. Is there rumbling in the ground? Is there like that energy in the air? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing it, trying to hit the 5 senses. And then kind of like a wow factor. What's something that's going to stick with them?
I think if you're doing Theater of the Mind and you know somebody's really into a particular series, whether it be a book series or TV series or whatever,
lean into it.
I kind of like, if I'm doing a one shot, I kind of like to ask people like what they're watching, what they're doing, because if I know it and there's a cool moment in that, I might try to describe it like that moment. Especially they bring it up, they might have that they'll get that emotion, and if you get that emotion, it's really easy to build off of that. I think that's
another thing that should be in our session 0.
Oh yeah,
because especially as new players, that's the way you reel them in.
Any closing points, any thoughts or feelings that you have?
No, just have fun, whichever way you choose.
I think hybrid's the way to go. If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe.
Please and thank you.
Make it happen.
Yeah, throw your comments down below. Which one do you prefer? Or are you like us? Are you weird and do them both? Also, are you a fan of
one or the other?
Yeah. Or big apes throwing barrels at people?
All right. Well, appreciate it. I think we're signing off. And, until next time when we see you at the
table.
All right. Bye.
Bye.